Hi everybody, it is me, Corrie Sommers, your local Los Angeles luxury realtor. Today we're going to be talking about the neighborhood Toluca Lake, which is a part of the city of Los Angeles. I'm so excited to share the actual neighborhood I live in with you guys. So we'll be right back with all of some amazing history and some great information about the neighborhood. If you have yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I just want to ask you to take a moment to click that subscribe button below, as well as the bell for all updates, and I'll be right back. Hi again everyone, it's me, Corrie Sommers, your local Los Angeles luxury realtor. Today we're going to be talking about the neighborhood Toluca Lake. Now Toluca Lake is a part of the city of Los Angeles. Toluca Lake is actually located about 12 miles northwest of downtown. I'm just trying to picture this in my mind. Yeah, 12 miles northwest of downtown, and it's about 1.22 square miles. Now, Toluca Lake is actually named after a lake found here in Toluca Lake, south of Riverside, which most people aren't aware exists. And there's a reason for that, which I'll get into in a few minutes. To help you really understand where Toluca Lake is located, I'm going to give you the boundaries. The western boundary of Toluca Lake is Cahuenga Boulevard. Again, San Fernando Valley, so most of us are pretty familiar with Cahuenga Boulevard. That's the most western boundary. The most northern boundary is Camarillo. The eastern boundary, which basically kind of separates Toluca Lake from Burbank, is Clybourne Ave. And the southern boundary is a combination of the LA River as well as Lakeside Golf Course. One of the things that I really love about Toluca Lake, and I think it's a true draw to this area, is we have this like little village kind of vibe with a little mini main street, and that street is Riverside Drive. And on Riverside Drive, there's several restaurants, some great restaurants, as well as a post office, P.O. box, UPS store, quite a few banks, actually more banks than are probably necessary. A wonderful shop for your pets for like grooming and doggy daycare kind of thing called A La Mutt. Restaurants like Heirloom, Sweet Salts, The Hungry Crowd, Foreman's, Sharky's. I could just go on. And of course, there's a Trader Joe's. So you pretty much have like almost anything you need to do within walking distance as far as going to the bank, going grocery shopping, getting a bite to eat. There's even a couple of hair salons and nail salons around here. One of the biggest and most known restaurants here in Toluca Lake, which is really a landmark, is Patty's. Patty's has been around for quite a long time and is just quite a hallmark landmark to this area. People come from the studios to have business meetings. People come from all kinds of different parts of LA to eat here on a weekend every Saturday and Sunday, minus the COVID. It is absolutely packed with people inside and out. It is such an attraction. Okay, so I want to give you guys a breakdown on some of the history in Toluca Lake, and if I look to the sides, because I'm just kind of going over my notes, but I really want to give you like a real thorough understanding of how Toluca Lake evolved and was developed. So back in 1922, the Lakeside Golf Course was established, and when that was developed, a lot of investors started coming into the San Fernando Valley and buying up farmland. And so what a group of investors did is they had this idea to create the very first bedroom community here in the San Fernando Valley. The project was to be called Toluca Lake Park. Now, what was interesting about this development plan was that they had this idea to create 4 phases, 4 little subdivisions, sub-communities within Toluca Lake. So the very first one was to be called Toluca Lake Village. And that's kind of where Toluca Lake is commonly now referred to, the Village, which is bordered by Clybourne, Riverside Drive, Foreman Ave, and Valley Spring Lane. Now, all the homes in this particular area were on lots that were approximately 6,000 to 7,000 square feet, and kind of like your traditional home neighborhood with your sidewalks, with street lamps and street curbs. So that was one section of Toluca Lake that was developed. Now the second area was to be called Spring Valley. Now this was bordered by Foreman, Valley Spring Lane, Ledge, and Moore Park. Now these homes were to be larger estates, and they were initially created and sold as 1-acre parcels. And it was anticipated that most of these homes here in this Spring Valley area would really cater to people with horses, and that horses would still be kind of riding along the Los Angeles River as a means of transportation. And up until 1950, there were still horses in the Spring Valley area of Toluca Lake. But of course, like all things, time goes on, things change, and by the 1930s, the moniker Spring Valley completely disappeared. The third part of developing Toluca Lake is the area called Hidden Village. Now, this was bordered by Riverside Drive, Cahuenga Boulevard, and Camarillo and Foreman. So it's that little chunk right there. Now, this area was supposed to be like a country estate lots, and it was not going to have sidewalks. And to this day, there are no sidewalks, no curves. There are wider streets, and you definitely feel that when you're driving through, and no street lights. Okay, so the average lots were about 11,000 square feet, and there's a lot of really traditional colonial homes in this area to this day. Of course, as there's a turnover in homes and builders get in, they're building these gorgeous new construction homes with all the bells and whistles. But again, these are larger lots for most of Los Angeles. And the Hidden Village was previously a walnut grove with walnut trees. Some of these lots actually still have a couple of walnut trees to this day. Now, the very last part developed in Toluca Lake is Toluca Woods. And this area is basically all the land that was developed between Camarillo on the north side, Cahuenga on the far west side, Clybourne on the east side, and Clark abutting Burbank. So that's the final piece of Toluca Lake. And again, today, mostly Toluca Lake is known as Toluca Lake or Toluca Woods. There's also Toluca Terrace, but that's actually a separate area, and we'll get to that another time. Now, from the very beginning of the development of Toluca Lake, it has always drawn celebrities and people that are famous or work in the entertainment industry, because Warner Brothers opened studio very, very close, like just a couple blocks away. One of the first early residents of Toluca Lake was actually Amelia Earhart. Yes, the aviation pilot that disappeared. And some other early celebrities that moved in included Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, Bob Hope, who had the biggest estate here in Toluca Lake. And then just, kind of going up to the modern era, Viola Davis has lived here. Kirsten Dunst has had a house here. Melissa McCarthy, sorry, I almost said Matthew McConaughey. No, Melissa McCarthy has had a house here. Justin Bieber has lived here. Miley Cyrus has lived here. Ziggy Marley has lived here. And the list just goes on and on and on. It's really been a haven because most of the neighbors here are very low key. A lot of people work in the industry for the studios, writers, producers, etc. And it's just a very calm, low-key, tranquil neighborhood vibe. So now you might be wondering, what is the cost of housing in Toluca Lake? I'm not gonna lie, it's not cheap. Everything south of Riverside is definitely over $1 million. If you're thinking north of Riverside, I'm gonna give you an example of a listing that's presently on the market, and this is 1139 Kling Street, which is for sale for $987. Now this actually comes with plans to renovate the property. It's a small Spanish home with plans to renovate, update, add square footage, right? All of that for just a cool $1 million. Now, a mid-priced home, I hesitate saying mid-price. Based on everything that's on the market today, this is not at the very top, but it is a special home. It's right on a half acre abutting the golf course. So all the homes on the golf course are very special. I mean, it's almost like having an extended huge backyard when your home is abutted to the golf course. And that particular home that I'm talking about is 10424 Valley Spring Lane. It's listed at $5,450,000. It's listed with John Mullen of Ramsey Shillings. Now, the last property that I'm going to mention today that just kind of gives you a snapshot of what homes are like here in Toluca Lake is at 4270 Foreman Ave. This house is going for $5,850,000. It's on a half acre and it's listed with Dorothy Sale of Classic Properties, who's done a lot of business here in Toluca Lake over the years. Again, Toluca Lake is a very tranquil area. The lake itself is hidden by homes that have built up around the lake. There's 35 homes surrounding the lake, and the lake is actually owned by the homeowners. They have a private homeowners association. You really can't use the lake or see the lake unless you happen to be one of the homeowners or are friends with one of them and they invite you over, which is a pretty special experience. I want to thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope this helped you to get familiar with Toluca Lake. And if you're searching for a home in Los Angeles or trying to figure out where you might want to move if you're considering relocating to Los Angeles, well, I have a guide below about relocating to Los Angeles and a guide on Toluca Lake. I look forward to catching up with you guys next time. Please, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell for updates. See you soon.